the question is, what was your favorite gift you ever got as a child? So I'll kick us off here. Mine when I was a kid, I was a big Atari kid, like because video games were. It's kind of ages me too, because I grew up in the '80s. So like Atari was like the hugest thing growing up. And when I saw the commercial for the Spider-Man video game for the Atari 2600, I just lost my shit, and I needed to have that game. When you look at, you guys ever play that game?
No, but I've seen it.
Absolutely horrible. Like I'm gonna play the
It's
commercial.
horrible. I love it.
It's horrible. But when I was a kid, I needed it. Like it was like a drug. I had to have it. But when you see the graphics here, I mean, it's Cyberpunk 2077, eat your heart out. I mean, it's like
amazing.
Yeah, right. So here, and what's great is the commercial was amazing for this, though. I gotta admit, like if you growing up and you saw this, you'd be like, I gotta have this. So here we go.
Oh my God! From the live action Green Goblin alone.
Jesus Christ.
I take it back. I think I did play this. I remember the web.
Yeah.
I'm only getting one thing from this commercial, and that's that Spider-Man has an ass.
Yeah. This cover was amazing, though. You're like.
I appreciate the more comic accurate version of the Green Goblin than William Dafoe's.
Yeah, right. So when I was a kid, that was like the game that like I had to have, and playing it was a horrible game, but like I you know what I mean? Like I just had to have it as a kid. So did anyone else say that they played it? I forget.
I'm pretty certain I did, because I remember the webs, and I remember how I don't know. It's something.
It was annoying because you were always, the web fluid would go down so quick. Like,
yeah, and like
right.
Yeah,
exactly. And when you swung, it was basically just like Pitfall. It looked like Pitfall, and
exactly all going upward.
Upward, yeah.
Upward.
And then all you had to just get to the top and defuse the bomb. And I think like you could get hit by people in the window. They would throw stuff at you, and it was just like so silly. But like when you were a kid, like that was like the thing, to get. So that was my one gift. And I got it that year. I played the shit out of it and loved it. And nowadays I probably couldn't even stomach it for a minute if I put it on,
with that.
Right.
Dude, I'm pretty sure like I'm way just from that and just the conversation, I'm pretty sure I'm way younger than the rest of you. But way younger, like by at least 5 years by the next guy.
I'm probably the oldest.
Not trying to
played that Spider-Man game that looked like the Electric Company Spider-Man. Oh yeah, he does. Remember that? Bro, like, did you guys ever watch Electric Company with Spider-Man? He never talked. Do you remember that?
I do remember that. Yeah.
And like it would
I don't remember that.
The word balloon would appear over his head, and like whenever he wanted to speak, he'd go burp, and like the like the word balloon would just appear over his head.
Was
like,
it also in the 80s?
What's that?
Was it also in the 80s?
Yeah, Electric Company. Okay. It was like a show like Sesame Street. I remember it was often after Sesame Street.
Yeah.
And for some reason they had older, right? Yeah. And they had Spider-Man segments where he didn't really fight crime. He just kind of hung out and like went to the zoo or something. Like it was just like a weird thing. But like I just remember that whenever he talked, he would go blurp, and it would just be like a word balloon over his head. I think it's to get kids to read and stuff, But yeah, he definitely does look like the Electric Company Spider-Man.
And in today's episode, Spider-Man smokes weed and gets nachos at the zoo.
Yeah, exactly.
The gorilla enclosure.
Remember, Peter, it's puff, puff, pass, all right?
Yeah. Kirk loved Atari 2600 was his favorite gift. Gaz, hey Gaz, good to see you, man. I really dug this game. The Green Goblin terrified me. Yeah, the commercial, he was horrifying. I remember Electric Company Spider-Man. That's awesome.
Hi, Rob.
Yeah,
Johnny,
it's great
you know
seeing
him.
you guys tonight. You had a
Yes,
full house.
you know him.
Great. All right, so all right, Johnny, let's move on to you. What was the gift when you were a kid, man?
So I think the one I'm going to share, maybe wasn't maybe not the one I was the most psyched for, but the one I was the most surprised for. And I remember when I was really young, when I was still playing with He-Man figures, my folks or Santa got me not the Castle Grayskull, not the Snake Mountain, but the one that was like the bigger one.
Is that the
Eternia?
Oh, yeah, okay.
And it was like a giant tower. I mean, this thing was obnoxiously large.
Okay.
And it was one of
Do
the
you have a picture of it? Because I vaguely remember that.
Yeah, I mean, if you Google search He-Man Eternia, you might be able to pull up the image, and I'll just continue talking while you do that. So it was just an instance of, or it was one of the instances where when I woke up, came downstairs, everything was already set up. It was one of those,
really?
Yeah, so it was kind of like one of those things like out of a movie, you know what I mean? And I was the most surprised, and I think that's kind of why it's the most fondest memory of me as a kid and a Christmas present that I received.
Oh wait, this was a video. Let me hang on. I'm trying to find like.
I'm sure you could probably find a YouTube commercial for the.
Oh yeah, here we go. I think I found it. Let me see if this is it.
I mean, this thing was bananas because not only did you get the main tower, right there, there's that photo. Not only did you get the main tower, but you had 2 sub towers, and there was a monorail that attached and connected everything. So it was literally, you could get lost for hours as a kid playing with this thing.
Oh man, that thing is awesome. I don't think I've ever seen this.
It had
I've seen like Snake Mountain and Castle Grayskull and all that stuff, but I don't think I've ever seen this one.
Yeah, and this was like a little bit of everything, right? And one of the cool things is this tower, the center tower.
Yeah,
there was like a moat in the front of it, so I would take like vinegar and baking soda and make like bubbly like moat fluid and stuff, and like.
Oh, where right in this area right here.
Yeah, so literally right where
Prince Adam is.
Yeah, right. Those sections right there. That's just like a moat, and you could just fill it with water. And I used to go the vinegar and baking soda route.
That's cool, dude.
I had a lot of fun with this thing. I just absolutely destroyed it as a kid playing with it. It got its good time in.
Awesome. That's a great one. Like, I mean, who didn't have He-Man when they were a kid? Like,
I guess it's a matter of depends on if that was the generation, right?
I'm a little too young for it.
Yeah, Joe's like, he what?
No, I know he is. Just didn't have any toys. So.
Yeah.
Like, I have a fondness for the cartoon, but I think I was at the time I was getting a little too old for it, so I just kind of watching the cartoon and never really buying the toys. But I always liked them. Like I always liked that He-Man that had the chest that like you could punch and like had the battle damage. Yeah. And Merman and all that. I loved all that stuff. So that's a good one.
Like the battle damage. That was
remember that?
Was like
remember the battle damage?
Yeah.
So
I
it
was
was like one of the
powers. I'm like, look.
Oh yeah. And Skeletor, what a great villain. Skeletor.
Oh, yeah.
I love that. Such a great villain. All right, yeah, that's a great one, Johnny. So let's move over to Marnie. What was that one gift, Marnie?
So everyone here knows I write horror, right?
Yep.
Okay, so a lot of it has to do with the fact that I have blocked out a majority of my childhood because it was Garbo. Keith, I'm sending you a private link of the only thing that I remember positively getting as a child for Christmas.
Okay.
And it was like you sent me this prompt back at what, 7 o'clock?
Yeah.
I just thought it 10 minutes ago.
Oh, geez. Okay.
Yeah, like I hate Christmas. Like I'm here to shit on Christmas. Like that is my role here.
I like Nightmare Before Christmas is great. This is a good one. So it was the Sally doll.
It was Sally and Jack, not Santa Jack. My dad used to work at Disney. He's the guy who reprogrammed the Tower of Terror back in the early 2000s. So he got like a Disney discount, and this is what he got that year was because Nightmare Before Christmas every single year comes out with new stuff. You know, like they don't sell the same Nightmare stuff 2 years in a row. So these were the collectibles from that year.
Oh, this is great. I was working at a comic store when this was huge, like when the toys started really blowing up for Nightmare Before Christmas, and I just remember what was that? Let me.
Yeah, no, show it again. That thing's awesome.
Show it again. What do you got?
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Sweet.
Jacket.
Yeah.
Going all out.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh
yeah.
wow. Jeez. Okay.
Yeah,
Awesome.
This is literally
That's
the only thing I remember getting as a child. Like I know that there was Christmases because my dad was Catholic, but this is the only thing I ever remember getting.
Yeah, because you're so into it. That's great. I shared a meme the other day about how the Grinch when with the Grinch dying and then like his skeleton becomes Jack Skeleton, and I'm like, I never thought of that because of the smile. You know, like the Grinch's smile just looks exactly like Jack Skeleton. Fantastic.
Yeah.
That's a good one. I that's a special I revisit often in Christmas time. I like it. I love the what's this song, you know?
Oh, there's one where he's swearing the entire time, and instead of being called "What's this?" it's called "The fuck." That's the premise of the song, but they just redid all the words, so he's swearing like every 4 words or something.
That's fantastic. That's a good one. Anyone have any thoughts about Nightmare Before Christmas or anything?
I love it too. I just think it's really cool. I try to watch it somewhere in between Halloween and Christmas.
I didn't have one of those. I had
okay. What were you referencing there?
The Biker Mice from Mars. I had one
Oh, Biker Mice from Mars. I remember that.
Huh?
Love the nightmare stuff, Marnie. It's a
Probably didn't
classic.
say that I know him personally.
Yep. I agree. It's all good stuff. All right. So, Mark, what was that one gift when you were a kid that like just you had to have? That was like the greatest time in your life, that kind of thing.
So I thought a lot about it. There was a ton of Star Wars stuff, and I was thinking about some of that. I'm not going to go with that one though. What I'm going to go with is something that as a kid I remember watching Voltron, right?
Okay.
And so Voltron had, if you remember, there were 2 Voltrons, right? There was the crappy space one, and then there was the lion one, right? And you always wanted, and it was always a crapshoot. You're like, which one? It's a crappy space one. We're gonna go.
No love for vehicle force at all.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, but I remember being super psyched about literally being able to get all the lions and all that sort of stuff, and I didn't get the official one. You get the official Voltron. You could put it. What I got was someone gave me Lionbot, and it was like the whatever Taiwan.
Oh, was it like the knockoff?
Yeah,
the knockoffs. Yeah,
but
yeah.
It was awesome as a kid. Hell yeah!
I have fond memories of going through Chinatown with my mom looking for one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was like 2 cents, right? It was like you buy one of them, you get the other ones free, that kind of thing.
Here, it's Voltron. Trust me, it's Voltron.
Yeah,
but the package probably was like Valtron or something.
Here, I'll put the link in the chat for you. I found it. I was
yeah. Let me see that.
Is your mom said? Look, Mark, we found it.
Yeah, we could finally.
The best ones are like it's not Voltron, it's Lionbot.
Fantastic! I love knockoff.
There you go. Yep.
Lionbot. That's a good one though. That looks like a good knockoff.
Yeah, it's a cool toy. Shit, if I had mine, it looks like I could sell it for $99.
I know a lot of guys that collect these knockoffs, and there's some ones that are really good. Like Shockingly. Yeah, this is a great one. I remember the that's cool in the box.
Dude, came with a whole
No, was
box
this
and everything.
die cast? Because I remember like the real one was like die cast, right?
Die cast
Yeah.
one,
The
yeah.
die cast too.
Yeah.
This one's die cast too.
Well, at least
No,
that's
this
what
thing
the
was
box
so
said.
good, man.
Oh yeah, it says it right here, die cast metal. Oh, perfect. Yeah, that's
My cousin
awesome.
threw a die-cast Voltron at my face when I was a kid. Broke my nose.
Oh.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh man,
Back when toys were lethal.
dude, this is legit
Oh my
though.
God.
Look at, this
Yeah.
this thing looks great.
That looks,
It's almost like the company that made it was like, hey, we have a few extra left over. Let's make some, let's repackage it in knockoffs.
It might be
Slap
like
their own logo on it.
Well, didn't a lot of that happen because they like those companies like would get the molds and all that crap and just like kind of put it out like in like in Europe somewhere and then it would just leak into every place,
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of that stuff. That's a good one though. That's a great one, man. I never had the Voltron, but I was aware of it, and I kind of always wanted it because I love the cartoon myself. Did you guys like the new Netflix one that came out like a few years ago? Did you guys watch that?
I haven't seen it.
I watched a little bit of it. The main storyboard guys on it, I kind of did a class with, and they're really good storyboards. I've only seen the pilot. The pilot's
Oh,
good,
okay.
but yeah.
I saw the
watched a little
first
bit of it.
2 seasons. It gets a little slow because they often try not to make them form Voltron. So it's like you only get to see Voltron like maybe twice a season,
No,
They
man.
try to, so that's where it kind of gets a little dull. Whereas like every episode you used to get Voltron,
Yeah, that was like the one thing you look forward to as a kid is just like, I'll form the head. Like,
Yeah, right. Exactly. That's so great. All right, so let's go to Alex. Alex, what do you got?
I may be like you in that it was a video game system that I was like really super excited for.
Okay.
But it was a disappointment that led to like fond memories. I was bitching and moaning for an NES back in the day. And I guess in my neighborhood they were sold out or they just couldn't get one. So my mom, actually probably was my brother, who got me the TurboGrafx 16. And I was like, what the hell is this thing? And then I'm like, but wait, these games are pretty cool. And it's become like now like my nostalgia system.
Nice.
Yeah. The NES was so good. I grew up through like when arcades were huge in like 1983, and then like they died like that same year. And I remember Nintendo coming out in like, what was it, 85, 86?
Sounds about
And
Yeah.
and I was like, oh my God, the graphics are as good as the arcade, and like, just had to have it, So yeah, I remember that excitement, for Nintendo.
I remember having an NES and being super jealous of the TurboGrafx 16 because the games looked so much better.
Yeah.
On that console. They had Splatterhouse, if I remember correctly.
Yes, they did.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Game from.
Yeah.
I love that. The Friday the 13th
Awesome.
knockoff.
Yeah.
The Friday the 13th, where you guys play Jason, but it's not Jason,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, not to mention the horrible Friday the 13th game. Remember the Friday
Yeah.
the 13th?
Oh,
Jason was purple.
Yeah, it was called Jason as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, NES was great though. There was so
I
many.
still have mine.
Do you?
Your
Does it
NES?
still work?
Does it work?
Oh yeah. Hold on. I'll be right back. Yeah.
Go blow on the cartridge.
Yeah. I found my SNES. I hooked it up, but I can't find any of my controllers or any of my games. So I'm like, oh.
That's up. I
Last
still have
What was that, Joe?
I still have I have because I'm a little younger, but I do have the Atari 2600 and I have the box and everything in my closet right here, and I don't know what to do with it. Like I'm like, do I save it for like forever and try to sell it or what? But nice.
That is all.
Yeah, right?
That
That's
game
Turtles
is
one.
so goddamn
God, that
hard.
game was
God.
so
I've
hard.
never beaten it.
Oh,
So hard.
No one has ever
So
beaten
hard.
I haven't beaten it.
Yeah,
Has
that
ever
water level, dude.
That is that's like one of the hard, that and like the original Metal Gear Solid was
Yeah.
so hard. And yeah, I mean, there were some great games though. I mean, like why haven't they remade like Bionic Commando? Like that was
Oh, they did. They
tried.
they did.
They did a reboot. Yeah.
I totally missed that. When did they? What system was that for that they remade it?
I think it was like PS3 era.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Was
this
it
is like
good?
2 or 3. Yeah.
You know, I don't remember it,
No.
but I know they did it.
I think I made
Okay.
a demo and it wasn't appealing. I was like, okay, nostalgia's over. I'm done.
Yeah.
Well, it was a great idea with the arm and everything. Like I thought that would be a good comic too. But like I was gonna say, I saw that they just remade like Battletoads for Xbox Arcade, but I haven't played that. That was a tough game, but that was a cool game when it came out. Like
That was tough.
I love the giant foot, like when you were doing like the final punch or whatever.
Oh yeah.
You know, giant fist or giant.
Animation was great.
Marty,
Yeah,
when
it
did
was
you play that NES of yours?
When I put my roommate's cat up for adoption. Like I was trying to turn it on. He launched himself across the room and tore the cables out.
Oh, jeez.
So,
Oh man.
But I need new cables for it. This was. It's been a decade. That cat's been with my dad. Well, it was with my dad till he died. Now he lives with my mother because I never want to see that cat again. Jerk. But that was like the final straw.
A funny story about NES that one of my friends who was like in Hero Envy told me about. He wanted an NES so bad for Christmas, right? And his parents bought him like God, what was the name of that baseball game? It was like a really good baseball game on NES. Was it? You guys know what I'm talking about?
RBI?
Baseball Stars, or it was either Baseball Stars or RBI. One of those. There was like a really. It was the one where you could do the stats. There was like a lot of stats.
I think that was RBI.
That's probably RBI. So his parents, instead of getting him a Nintendo, they got him the video game RBI Baseball and no Nintendo to play it on.
Oh.
And so when he got up on Christmas morning and opened it, he was just like, what am I going to do with this? And they were like, oh, you can bring it to your friend's house and play it.
I think you agree. I'm pretty sure it's the one you
I like the worst for a kid. Like,
Wow. Like, by the way, and we put you up for adoption.
yeah, right. Seriously. Oh my God. So horrible.
So long.
Awesome. No, that was a good one, Alex. Yeah, because the NES was such a big deal back then. So, all right. So, Joe, let's go with Joe. What's
all this video game talk is kind of swaying my decision almost. Like, geez, I'm a big video game guy, and believe it or not, it's not my pick. My pick. I was a big fan of, because I'm a little younger. I'm a big fan of the Beast Wars version of Transformers. And,
okay.
When I was a kid, I had a bunch of the toys. Huh?
You're in my generation.
Yeah. So with Beast Wars, it was weird because like I got a lot of the toys, but I never could find one of them, which was Rat Trap. And I'm from New York, and so like he was the only one that had a New York accent, and he was like small, and I was like really like the smallest kid in school, and I just really could relate to the dude. So I really wanted the toy. But yeah, one time I got it one Christmas. It was a good toy to have, but I just really like the character, and it's really not about the toy. It's more about like, it's just a weird kid like idolizing this rat, So super weird. He had a New York accent. So you're like, oh, he's a rat, but he's kind of relating to me. So,
that's awesome. That's a good one
favorite.
though. Like I missed the whole Beast Wars thing. Like I was a G1 kid.
Yeah.
When Beast Wars came out, I was already working, retail and all that stuff. So I missed a lot of that was the one that they see, like one of the early CGI stuff. Hey, hold on. Let me see what you guys got there. Give me 1 second. Let me bring Alex up first. Nice. That's the original. Yes. Nice.
That's cool.
Anyone under 15's like, what the hell is that?
Yeah. I know.
18.
Yeah, right.
Was that what
the consent tape?
looked like?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And Johnny Johnny, is that like an original G1 or?
No, this is a Hasbro masterpiece. It's a pretty big one.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
That
This
was
is
really cool.
35th
Johnny, so
anniversary.
where do you live?
What's that?
Where do you live?
I'm in Massachusetts.
Send me your address.
Why? You got some Transformers for me?
No, because I'm gonna come get yours.
Yeah,
I thought that was obvious.
Johnny's
Yeah.
got like the great shit. Look at that Megatron's awesome too.
this one's it's a little more flimsier, but he's nice.
Oh, I like that.
And they both transform to their
And
respective.
then what
counterparts.
Master Collection?
The masterpiece collection. They're put out by Takara, which is the company that helped create Transformers alongside Hasbro.
Oh, nice. That's really cool. Yeah, the Beast Wars stuff. I totally missed all that. Like I know I don't even really know the rat character.
Yeah, you're gonna look it up. His name was Rat Trap. But
what's it called?
Huh?
Rat Trap is the name.
Yeah, you're gonna look up any of
Johnny and
the.
I are going to be playing with our Transformers now.
I don't have any of my old toys. They're probably, who knows, a parent's attic or
Yeah,
something.
some here. Let me see if this is it. Oh yeah, this is cool looking.
Nice.
Hang on,
It
let me,
was the first show that was like really CG and okay and stood up somewhat.
I know
CG,
people
like how that
speak
show
highly of it. Is this the toy?
Yeah, that's the toy. Yeah,
Yeah, that's cool. I like that.
it's pretty neat.
I remember people really liking the cartoon though, because when I started working at the comic store, that one was talked about a lot. Whenever Transformers came up in conversation. This toy is cool though. I like the rat. That's really cool.
Yeah.
I remember was it Optimus Primal and he was like an ape or something.
Yeah, they made him a gorilla.
Megatron like a dinosaur, like a T-Rex or something, or
Yeah, what was the Megatron what was he?
Yeah, he was
was
a
like a
T-Rex.
T-Rex character, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
Right.
yeah, and instead of the gun with the tail on his arm. That's what it was.
So what was the story on that? Like why were they beasts? Like educate me a little bit.
Well, they landed and like the scanners they needed to really just, I guess, it all happened in the pilot. It was like 1 20-second, thing where they explain it, but the scanners just found the animals that were close by so they could, break free from their crashed ship. And
so it was kind of like the Dinobots in a little bit of a way, right?
Yeah.
Okay. That's cool. I like that. Like that's one I'm not familiar with, so it's like I always kind of like to learn about it,
Yeah,
The Netflix Transformers series, that the newer one, they're going to be getting into Beast Wars as well. They're kind of doing a revival
Oh, really?
with the third one of the trilogy.
Oh, that's cool. They're gonna work it into like the whole overall story. The only Transformer I have right now, I bought like 2 years ago was the Ghostbusters car that transforms into a Transformer.
Yeah, very cool.
I was like, I had to have that because I love Ghostbusters and I guess they just released a Back to the Future one too, a DeLorean that transforms into a Transformer.
Really?
That's cool.
Yeah, I don't know where you get that one, but
There goes my money.
yeah, no kidding. I'm ready to plunk down at least 50 for that if I see it somewhere,
You
So
get a Target for $30.
Oh,
what's
yes.
I lied. I
okay.
Sorry.
It's funny. I kind of had a runner-up. If you guys have ever seen the Power Rangers gloves that had like a swish sound if you clicked your hand.
Oh,
where
really?
The crease was, and it would make like
Okay.
a swish sound, and I was like, dude, we got those without asking for them, and it was by far the best gift for
Awesome.
many years.
See, I Power Rangers is another thing that went over my head. I think I was too old for it when it came out, and to me, it just looked goofy,
Oh yeah, you have to be definitely young enough for that.
Yeah, I know it's one of those properties that people that love it absolutely love it,
For sure.
My friend Gaz that just was in here a little while ago, he runs like some kind of YouTube show talking just about Power Rangers. So
Yeah, that's
he's
awesome.
like huge on that. So that's great. I think the only thing I ever saw was that movie that came out like a year ago. The
that was garbage.
Yeah, see, I don't know. To me it was like, oh, okay, this is what it is, you know. So I didn't know. I have nothing to compare it to because I never saw the original stuff. So, but I believe you.
Dude,
when I was
yeah.
after I watched it, I saw that the purists hated it. So I'm like, yeah, it probably sucks. It's almost like the first Transformers movie, I guess, you know.